the first question I'm going to ask you, you have options. You can either go to a random draw or you can pick a player out. What would you like to do?
Pick someone out.
Well, there's your players, mate. Take a look. That's the list of names right there.
Carl Morris. Carl Morris. Let's go Carl Morris.
Carl Morris, all right. That'll do me. Where are you, Carl? Come on down. He's hiding away, I think. He's not in here. Well, that's Carl Morris for you. We'll get you Carl in just a moment. Carl Morris versus Kristi Caulfield is next.
Yeah, I mean, players know what they've got to do. They've got to be where they've got to be, and he wasn't. It's he knew what he was doing. He has some gamesmanship about him. Let's say it that way.
Kristi's obviously well aware of that. He knows what he's getting when he makes this pick. But for all the gamesmanship, Carl Morris is a good player, former world champion. It's not going to be an easy draw. Carl was obviously here all day yesterday but didn't get called out, so he's had plenty of time to warm up for this moment.
Well, he may have been here all day yesterday. I'm not sure we saw him.
Annoyed look. He has made a ball off the break. Does have that kind of demeanour around the table though. He can look frustrated regardless of how good the position is. Yellow's the choice. Just looking to cannon into the red and yellow together, but hasn't quite made that. Got a route into it though, off this one if you want.
Good shape here. Get going to a very quick start, which you feel like he needs to do. Kristi's up and running, playing well.
Yeah, Kristi's got a lot of positives to take from that first match. It's actually just a good quality performance all round. I think we're going to see a lot of that today. You watch somebody play a few frames and you think, well, they're a favourite for the tournament, but we're going to see a lot of people in that category. It's the tournament that's going to move pretty quickly as we go through the day.
Well, showing his frustration because he's come past the line he wanted. He wanted to be fairly straight just to be able to come back and get straight in bottom right. One over right centre becomes last ball. Now he's going towards the reds. He could still use the reds perhaps and leave that three-quarter ball angle, which wouldn't be too bad. Or float the gap. Played beautifully.
Not as easy a gap to find as he made it look, but judged that pretty well. And even though he's known for some of his antics around the table and sometimes for like your safety game, he's actually very good in amongst the balls, as you'd expect from a former world champion. He's showing his prowess here. Got off to a very quick start in this match.
Eight balls flying.
Yeah, you don't often see that much movement with a front ball break on the 8 ball, but it was tracking around the table. By his own standards, Kristi was playing at a fairly measured pace in the first match. More than capable of playing very quickly if the occasion demands it. Balls have come out quite nicely. He can get through to the right hand of the two reds at the top of the table, clear the path for the other one. And you can see really starting to motor now. Now he knows the route, taking no time whatsoever to line the shots up.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, isn't it? It was 3 minutes for the Carl Morris break clearance. We've just reached the 1 minute mark here for Kristi Caulfield. He's going to get out in inside 1.5 minutes, and just shows a huge difference in pace.
Yeah, Carl Morris is a very unpredictable player in terms of how fast or slow he plays. You can watch him take an absolute eternity for what looks a very straightforward finish, but he's also capable of playing super quick at times. Well, they all count the same though. 1 frame each. Early pro career. So, broken clearance in the first frame. What can Carl Morris do the second time of asking? Times he has a good break, probably not quite as consistent as some of the other top players. Just didn't make a completely straight contact on the pack that time. Immediately going after the problem area, which is the red tied up on the left-hand cushion. So opened it up a bit, but still not to the point where he can pot it, so he's going to have a second go at that.
Go into the red here, pop it on. Every chance he'll be on the next ball nicely. This ball's all over that he can be on. Obviously, one bottom left is a good safety net as well. What's that red to pull up? Just awkward. Obviously, very off angle now, going towards the yellows. Yeah, he's having a look. What would he leave if he left the cue ball on those yellows? Clever what he was doing there. I was wondering if he put his finger down, kind of, if I hit this yellow slightly thicker than I'm thinking and I stick on the cushion, will I still have a shot? See, he was never playing to leave it there, but he wanted to kind of work out what's my worst case here. It's come out beautifully for him. That not so much. It wasn't the best of shots.
It goes back to what you were saying earlier. It's like he's put it straight out of his mind. He's just got down for the next shot, although he was in prime position.
Yeah, it's honestly in different way to other players, but fabulous temperament.
Also, I've been very impressed with the thinking behind his game this morning. He's played a lot of very clever shots. He's going to take some beating right now. Good chance to add to the 2 clearances he's had off his own break here.
Got that 8-ball tracking again. Keep an eye on that as Kristi continues in this tournament. Huge break. Actually deserved the better layout for the quality here. You would love that yellow just stayed on the pocket, but refused.
Yeah, for a moment it looked like it was just going to hang over the middle pocket, which would have given him an easier starter.
It's more the starter than the layout, isn't it? But then if he takes yellows, which may be his only real option unless he wants to take a very awkward plan, then getting on the 8-ball isn't guaranteed. Well, he doesn't want to pot 2. Oh, that's... Thought he'd going to go in off as well.
That was a pretty unlucky result. He played that reasonably well. 2 bad things almost happened. He's got himself into some trouble now. If he catches that just a bit thinner, that's going in and he's going to have good position on the last yellow. Just caught a bit too much of it. And now this is a very important visit for Carl. Been frozen away from the table for the last 2 frames. No attempt at the pot. Could have played that as a kind of shot to nothing, but decided just to commit to the safety shot. Carl's more than happy with this kind of game. Anytime he gets a numerical advantage on the table, you know he's going to grind out if he needs to.
Oh, this is good. Oh, that's fabulous. Couldn't have hoped for that to work out much better. Pops the yellow over the middle pocket, leaves maybe only an edge here. An edge that Carl can't do much with. If he can see the left-hand side of the red, he's got a safety option. If he can only see the right-hand side, he's in trouble.
Safety zone is at the far end of the table, so as you say, no good to hit the right-hand side of this ball.
Actually, you can see the one in the middle. He had a pot on. I thought he was welded to that yellow. Actually left a chance on.
Yeah, what a difference half a roll makes there. If he's stuck to that yellow, he's in all sorts of trouble, whereas as it is, he can have a go at these.
I question why is Carl tapping the table when he comes to the table? He's got a straight pot in the centre. What's he tapping the table for? There's a prime opportunity to go and win the frame.
His body language is not always the easiest to read, let's say.
He's tapping the table to acknowledge a great shot from Kristi Caulfield. Kristi's left him in for the frame.
That's why he's a frustrating opponent at times to play against. You think he hasn't got anything, and then he's going to go out here and clear up.
Yeah, the red that he nudged towards the right centre just becomes the perfect connector to the 8-ball. It's just a really nice clinical finish he'll be taking out here.
Yeah, it wasn't a difficult finish, but he's had to control the cue ball well, which is normally one of his strengths. This is the kind of ball, if you're right behind it like he is, it's pretty much unmissable down the rail. If you have to play from distance, you could rattle it. That's the advantage of playing the tight position he has. Not a great break in the last frame. That was a better hit shot, much straighter on the pack that time.
Well, it's an interesting layout though. Possibly has a 3-ball plant on the red, 8-ball red, but that doesn't really help you because you feel like the red would stick on it, therefore kind of rules out reds. Doesn't really have a good opener on yellows.
Yeah, it feels like he may be committed to taking reds just to get a colour set established.
I think there's other players out there, especially if the yellow by the 8-ball goes, that would just get down and play the yellows. But he's not what he has is a box of tricks and good ideas, and his thought process is good, but he always kind of tries to shy away from the queuing shots wherever he can. But cues that one in beautifully.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be that keen on that one because it was very tight, and as you say, the single ball queuing isn't normally his forte, but cued that really well.
Yeah, I actually thought originally when he was looking at yellows, because I like the yellows much more than the reds, I thought that the yellow that's kind of nearer the middle of the table was the one to cue in bottom left. Originally didn't realise that yellow went. See, easier shot taking the one he took than the one I was thinking, but well, that's interesting because he's still left that potential 3-ball plant, but now the red doesn't stick in the yellow. It's a slightly loose shot from Carl.
Yeah, if you were going to play the safety shot, which wouldn't have been everyone's choice of shot there, you needed to get it tighter than that.
I chose to play the 3-ball plant because he couldn't see the red on the cushion. He could have gone up the table and then come back to that 3-ball plant, because that problem is that he hasn't moved the red that's in trouble, and he's put another one in there. God, that was dangerous. Wow, that was dangerous. Oh, and that's one of the biggest flukes we'll see all day, all competition. And Kristi knows it. What a fluke that is.
Carl Morris is a player that will literally tell you when he's not pleased with the shot you've played. A lot of players will be shaking their heads, but he's gone over to Kristi to discuss that shot.
That's one of the biggest flukes I've ever seen. He was lucky not to pot the 8-ball, and he's ended up on the cue ball there. I have no idea how he's ended up there.
And that's really changed things, because with the cue ball in hand, he can get to the difficult red in a way that he would have struggled to do otherwise.
Yeah, short position. There'll be no shame in Kristi taking this frame out, I can tell you. He may have laughed and hung his head in shame when it landed there, but that's where it will end.
That's where ball in hand is massive. Would have been such a difficult ball to get prime position on if you couldn't position the cue ball yourself. Able to take both the difficult balls at this end of the table.
That shot there, though, the fluke snooker, could be match defining. It really could, because Kristi's massive second favourite from where he'd put himself into. Yeah, he's tried to pull out a miracle shot, but that wasn't likely, and he's missed it by a mile. He's huge second favourite. The cue ball finishes anywhere on the table where Carl can see a yellow, he's going to go 3-2 up, and he's going to find himself 3-2 down, and Kristi's going to have the break.
And the way Kristi's broken so far, he's going to have first opportunity to close out this match.
What a break. What a fabulous break.
This break has really been something today. It's got so much power into it. Great chance this to close out this win. Would like to get it done here. Cole's exactly the kind of opponent that you can get messed up in something silly if you're not careful. You don't want to get into a deciding frame or get messed around in this one. If he does go on to complete this clearance, I think we're going to be entertained to see who he's going to pick next, because he clearly had this idea in mind. Feels like probably more so than anybody we've had in this position so far, he could call out a bounty.
Yeah, he could. He could. I mean, his options are there, aren't they? Oh, no. Let's not get too carried away here. Wow. Wow, what a moment. Oh, this match is over at this point.
That was a bad miscue as well. It seemed to.
He's not trying to do anything. He's not.
Well, it was like he lost all technique. He was kind of standing up on the shot, like everything went wrong with it. Had no guarantee of where anything was going to finish after that. Obviously, as it happens, he's left Carl nicely in. And from what should have been a simple 4-2 win, every chance of getting into a deciding frame now. Just over 3 minutes remaining on the match clock. It's going to be about a minute and a half, I guess, by the time Carl's finished this clearance, if he does complete it. And it's going to be Carl's break if we do go to a deciding frame.
Yeah, it's well, that miscue's changed everything, hasn't it? I mean, I was just starting to think which one of the hitmen is Kristi most likely to call out if he was to call out a hitman, and all of a sudden he's second favourite for the match.
Miscuing's a horrible way to lose frames as well. It sort of damages your confidence. You're sort of worried you're going to miscue again on another shot. It just sort of gets into your head. You can see you can just about get through to the 8-ball. Wow. Is there another twist in this match? Carl Morris misses the straight yellow that he needs to take us to the deciding frame. Suddenly, that miscue from Kristi Caulfield may not cost him.
Oh. Amazing miss from Carl Morris, and well, it's a couple of very strange errors at the back end of this match. Some drama in the middle of it as well. Kristi Caulfield with that fluke, but it is going to go Kristi Caulfield's way. You can almost wait for him to play this shot, but almost certainly tell him or say that now. And well, 4-2 won't quite tell the full story, but it is Kristi Caulfield that will move on. Carl Morris is out.
Okay, what do you want to do?
And call Hitman out.
Okay, Kristi. I love you, mate. Who are you fancying?
Coming down, body. Shane Thompson.
Shane Thompson. Don't call him baldy. I can't believe you shaking his hand after that.
It's a banner. It's a banner.
Hello, Shane. How are you feeling to be in?
Yeah, he's right. He's not getting that seat though.
That's what we like. Okay, Shane Thompson against Kristi Caulfield is next, and it is a hitman match in the last man standing.